special guest before we get to the super duper duper special guests are my colleagues that are running as NDP candidates across the province. So I want everyone to give a big shout out. We have right here, we have Marcella Pedersen from Battleford Lloydminster.
Vote MP for MP.
There we go. Oh, very good. We have Erica Ritchie, who's the candidate for Saskatoon Grasswood. We have Claire Carr, the candidate for Saskatoon University. We have Harmony Johnson Harder, who's the candidate for Prince Albert. We have Talon Regent, the candidate for Moose Jaw, Lake Center, Lanigan. We have the awesome Jasmine Calix, the candidate for Carlton Trail, Eager Creek. And last but not least, we have Ray Allinger, the candidate for Regina Capel. Thank you all for coming. I want to acknowledge that today we are gathered on Treaty 6 territory in the ancestral homeland of the Métis. And my volunteers have been knocking doors all summer and now into the fall, and we are hearing some pretty heartbreaking stories. And what I've noticed is how resigned people are. The governments don't help people anymore. That looking to the government for help is a lost cause, that people really don't matter. This week I knocked on the door of a woman who's living on a very small pension and affordable housing, and she says, I can't afford my medication. And she's in pain and she's suffering. And while telling her story, she starts to cry. Now, I think you'll all agree, no one in a country as wealthy as Canada should have to live like this. You should not have to decide whether you're going to buy food or buy medication. That is unacceptable. So I am hearing people's frustration and their cynicism about politicians who offer a lot of pretty words, and of course, when it turns around, they're all empty promises. But Jagmeet Singh is different. He knows what it's like to struggle. He knows what it's like to struggle because he's been there. He loves people and truly cares about helping people live a better life. People deserve that. In this campaign, he is the leader who is taking on the rich and the well-connected. He's in it for you.
I'm taking off as well.
I think you know why I am so inspired to be on Jagmeet's team. He is inspirational, he's caring, he's competent, he's compassionate, he's articulate, he's a fighter. I am so proud to be the NDP candidate for Saskatoon West, and I am super proud to introduce to you the leader of the NDP, Jagmeet Singh.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so honored to be here. Can you just give it up once more for the incredible Sherry Benson? And for the entire team that we have here today with us. Friends, I also want to acknowledge that we're gathered on Treaty 6 territory and the nation of the Métis people. I want to acknowledge that because not only is it our job to acknowledge the nation or the land that we're gathered on, but it's also our job to commit to acknowledging the historic injustice, the ongoing injustice faced by the first people of this land, and to committing together to remedying it, committing together to ending it, and to ensuring that there's no more injustice, that we move forward with true and honest reconciliation. Friends, I also want to acknowledge today that a lot of our brothers and sisters are out there striking hard, folks that connect the province, that literally keep the lights on, that connect and keep us together. The good folks that are working in the Crown corporations are fighting hard. And just want to acknowledge them and give them our solidarity and our support. Friends, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. We've got a beautiful country. We're really proud of it, but there's a lot of challenges that we're faced with. And we can solve those challenges, but I want to talk to you a bit of what we're facing. Sherry touched on it, but we're seeing a lot of really tough times for people. Right? It's hard for a lot of families. Right? They're struggling. A lot of our friends, a lot of our colleagues, a lot of our neighbors, a lot of the people around us are hurting right now. And it's tough out there because they're making tough choices, like Sherry's talking about. There's a lot of people out there that can't afford their medication. And you know, when you need health care, when your family or your loved one needs health care and it's not there for you, it's heartbreaking. It hurts. And I think about all the people that I meet across this country who are making those tough decisions, who have to literally sit down and decide, do I pay the bills, do I buy groceries, or do I buy the medication that I need? I met a man who works in construction and he does not have any coverage. He's a contractor, so he's self-employed. And he goes every day and makes the gamble. He needs heart medication, but he can't afford it. It's too expensive. And his kids need medication. So he says, instead, I want to pay for their medication. So he's gambling with his life. Every day when he goes out, he doesn't know what's going to happen. And it's scary. It's scary. You know, and people put off other things, not just medication. There's so many families that put off dental care because it costs so much. They can't afford it. So they put it off. And you know, we all know, if your dental care, if your dental health isn't there, it's obvious that your health is going to be impacted. It seems to me so bizarre that our whole body is covered. You can go in and get open heart surgery, but if you go and you end up in the emergency room because you've got a problem with your teeth, all you get is painkillers. They can't solve that problem. And I think about the struggles that people are facing, housing, and people who are worried about not being able to afford to make ends meet, and all these worries, all these stresses. And I think to myself, you know, what is the solution? You know, what is out there? What are people providing as solutions? Well, the Liberals are basically saying to folks, you know what, it's fine the way things are. They're going to say to them, you know, just wait, just hold on. Maybe we'll study the issue again. Maybe we'll look at it and consider it one more time. They've been promising pharmacare. They've been promising pharmacare for 22 years. They haven't delivered it. And they're basically telling families, you know, wait 4 more years. They're telling people who can't afford medication, who are worried about their health, just wait 4 more years. They're telling kids who can't get the dental care that they need, just wait 4 more years. I want to say to the Liberals, people cannot afford to wait 4 more years. They can't. You know, and Mr. Trudeau says a lot of nice things. I'll admit it. He says a lot of pretty words, right? He said a lot of them in 2015. He's saying a lot of them now. But I say, how can we believe him when he keeps on breaking his commitments? And it's not a coincidence that he breaks those commitments. You know, he promised to lower the cost of medication in 2015. He promised a really simple thing. He said, I'm going to put in place a new list of countries so when we set our prices, we can compare them to other countries and lower the cost. Seemed like a good plan. I admit it was a good idea. It would have lowered the cost of medication significantly for families. It wouldn't have cost us $1. 4 years later, he didn't do it. And I wondered why didn't he do it? Seems like a really easy thing to do. Just give a new list of countries to the board that sets the prices, and it would have lowered the cost. Then I found out why. Hey, someone knows. I found out why. After 4 years, he was lobbied by the big pharma and the big insurance companies. Guess how many times? Guess 300, 600, 875 times or more. So it's become clear. What Mr. Trudeau is doing is he's making it life easier, not for the people that need help. Who's he making life easier for? The wealthy, those at the very top, the big pharma, the big insurance companies. He wants to protect their profits, keep their profits high, and make families continue to struggle with the cost of healthcare, the cost of medication, and not having dental care. So it's clear Mr. Trudeau isn't going to do it. But now I want to talk to you about the Conservatives, because it's a bit tricky with the Conservatives. I know in this room it's not a hard thing to make the argument that they're not going to make things better. But I want to tell you what they're going to say, though. They're going to say some kind of tricky things. They're going to say, we're going to put some money in your pocket. They're going to say that, right? They're going to say, we're going to cut your taxes. Now, the reality is they're actually going to cut taxes for the wealthiest. They're going to save lots. Families might save a little bit here or there. But what else are they going to cut? They cut services, and you know that here in Saskatchewan. You know what happens. You know what happens. When Conservatives come in, they cut services. Right now in Saskatchewan, you're struggling with getting the health care you need. There's long wait lines when you go to emergency rooms. It's because Conservatives cut services for transportation, for so many issues. Conservatives will cut a little bit of taxes, sure, but they're going to cut a lot of the services that you and your family need, and it's going to cost you a lot more. They're going to try to trick you to say they're going to save money. They're not going to save you money. They're going to make you spend thousands and thousands of dollars more. And so given these choices, right, people are like, okay, well, the Liberals, they're going to keep things the same and say things are fine and keep on working for the wealthiest. The Conservatives are going to cut your services and it's going to hurt. Well, what else is out there then? There's got to be another choice. There's got to be another option. What's that other option? You Democrats, we're that other option. We're that other option. And I want to tell you why. NDP, NDP. But I want to tell you why. I want to tell you why we're that other option for people. Because I want to put it to you really clearly. I don't work for the wealthy. I don't work for the powerful. I don't work for the pharmaceutical companies. I don't work for the insurance companies. I work for all of you. I work for all of you. And so what we're going to say to big pharma and big insurance companies, tough. We're going to put in place universal pharmacare for everyone in our country. We're going to tell people, if you need medication in this country, if you need medication you or your loved one needs to stay healthy, to stay alive, you're going to use your health card, not your credit card. That's our plan. And we're going to make sure that people who are struggling with the cost of dental care, we're going to immediately put in place a publicly delivered insurance plan that's going to cover over 4 million Canadians right away. It's going to cover them right away. Now some people are going to say, okay, well, how are we going to pay for this? That's going to be a question that comes up. I want to make it clear that people in this room, you're not going to have to spend a cent more. It's going to save you thousands of dollars. The people who are going to pay for it are those very wealthy at the very top. They're going to pay for it. I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you how. We've got two things we're going to do differently. One is we're going to make better choices, and the second, we're going to make the wealthiest pay their fair share. When we make better choices, let me give you an example. Mr. Trudeau, last year alone, he spent $14 billion on the wealthiest corporations, a blank giveaway, $14 billion he just announced, so they could buy corporate jets and limousines and a host of other things. He gave them a blank check. And then he said to the wealthiest corporations that owed the government money, $6 billion, he said, you know what? It's okay. I forgive $6 billion in loans. So in 1 year alone, he committed to almost $20 billion of spending that didn't go to any of you, didn't go to your family, didn't go to the people that need it, went to the wealthiest in Canada. The second thing is we're going to ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share. We've got a plan to ask those who got fortunes of over $20 million. I'm pretty sure that's no one in this room. If it is, I'm sorry. But we're going to ask people who have got fortunes of over $20 million to pay a little bit more. And that plan has been costed by the PBO. That's going to raise $70 billion. $70 billion. So when we say how we're going to pay for this, no one in this room is going to have to spend a cent more. You're already contributing to society. You're already doing your part. But the wealthiest are not doing their part. And we're going to ask them to pay a little bit more. And we're going to be able to fund these programs. We're going to make better choices to fund these programs. And we're going to save your families thousands of dollars. With our child care, with our health care promises, with dental care, with medication coverage. These are thousands and thousands of dollars of savings for your family. This is a real way to make life better for people who are struggling. This can put more money in your pocket. It's not going to be a fake promise like the Conservatives. This is a real way to commit to making life better for people, because you know what? We're not in it for the rich. Who we're in it for? We're in it for all of you. We're in it for all of you, my friends. Mes amis, les libéraux ont parlé beaucoup, donnent des belles promesses, mais ils n'ont pas des actions concrètes. Ce qu'ils ont fait, c'est de rendre la vie plus facile pour les plus riches, mais plus difficile pour monsieur, madame, tout le monde. On va changer ça. So my friends, are you ready? Are you ready for a government that works for you? Are you ready for a government that's going to fight for you? Let's get it done then. Thank you very much. Thank you. Merci, merci. So friends, hang tight. We're going to take some questions from the media. So just hang tight and yeah, we'll enjoy the ride. Yes.
Hi.
Mr. Gallagher.
Kevin Hi, how are you, Jagmeet Singh?
Very well, sir.
Good.
Sorry, do the introduction though. I messed it up.
That's okay.
No, do it. It sounds cool.
For everybody, Kevin
Yeah.
Gallagher, I'm representing CTV National News, and I'm here to ask you a question. So we know now, of course, the Conservatives had in the past criticized Tom Mulcair for holding dual citizenship. And now we know that Andrew Scheer was all along a dual citizen of the United States. But what's your opinion? Should it disqualify somebody, or does it in a way compromise somebody to become prime minister and hold citizenship to another country other than Canada?
So I think Mr. Scheer was hypocritical, but I don't think that's a surprise. It's not a surprise. But no, I think this is a distraction, to be honest with you. I can criticize Mr. Scheer for a lot of reasons. This isn't one of them. His policies on cutting services for families, his weak position, or the fact that he's willing to open up the discussion around a woman's right to choose. That to me is a massive problem. The fact that he doesn't support LGBTQ communities. Those are things I could criticize him. The Conservatives' track record on failing Indigenous communities. The fact that every time we see a Conservative government come in power, they cut the services that families need, and it costs families a lot more. Those are things I would criticize.
Yeah. You have been criticized in the past for attending Sikh independence events. So what do you say to Canadians that might doubt your allegiance to Canadian interests if you were to become prime minister?
I mean, that's nothing to do with Canada. So I mean, there's no connection to Canada at all there. My whole life has been dedicated towards responding to challenges with love and courage. People have seen that time and time again. And I'm committed to the values that my mom taught me, that we're all connected. We're all in this together. And that's why you'll see in my values, you'll see my commitments to make life better for people, to take on the wealthy and the powerful.
Bonjour, Jérôme Labbé, Radio-Canada. Hier, lorsque mon collègue Philippe-Vincent Foisy a demandé à M. Scheer pourquoi il n'avait pas parlé avant de sa double citoyenneté, il a répondu parce qu'on ne m'avait pas posé la question. Alors apparemment, il faut poser la question. Je vais devoir vous la poser. Est-ce que vous avez la double citoyenneté?
Non.
Sinon, le premier ministre de la Saskatchewan, Scott Moe, critique beaucoup votre plateforme en disant qu'elle est trop généreuse pour le Québec. J'aimerais savoir ce que vous dites aux gens de la Saskatchewan aujourd'hui par rapport à toute l'autonomie que vous laissez au Québec dans votre plateforme.
Donc, le Québec est différent. On est fiers de ça. Ça, c'est toujours nos valeurs. Mais pour la Saskatchewan, ce que je veux dire aux citoyens de cette province et pour tous les Canadiens et Canadiennes, ce qu'on va livrer comme engagement, c'est un investissement dans le soin de santé. On va améliorer l'accès aux services. On va s'assurer qu'on a une assurance médicaments universelle. Ça va sauver l'argent pour tous les Canadiens et Canadiennes. On va mettre en œuvre un programme pour soins dentaires. Ça va aussi sauver l'argent pour les familles. Donc, je veux s'assurer, les citoyens de Saskatchewan, que je suis quelqu'un qui ne travaille pas pour les plus riches. Je me bats pour vous.
Et lorsque vous dites aux Saskatchewanais que le Québec est différent et mérite plus d'autonomie, quelle est la réaction? Est-ce que vous avez le sentiment qu'il y a une compréhension des Saskatchewanais sur cette question-là et du reste du pays, d'ailleurs?
Je pense que le reste du pays comprend que oui, le Québec est unique et c'est une nation unique avec des défis spécifiques. Donc, ça, c'est quelque chose qu'on croit comme néo-démocrate. Mais on croit fermement que les gens d'ici, de Saskatchewan, ont besoin de plus. Ils ont besoin d'avoir plus de ressources. Et c'est exactement ce compromis. Ce qu'on engage de faire, c'est de donner plus aux gens. Les conservateurs vont couper les services. Les libéraux vont dire, à cause de le fait que vous devez avoir peur des conservateurs, vous devez penser que vous n'avez pas le droit d'avoir beaucoup, d'avoir plus. Moi, je dis non aux libéraux, je dis non aux conservateurs, je dis oui aux gens, que vous avez le droit d'avoir plus et je vais le livrer. Yes.
In English, please, for our CBC colleagues.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of folks. Liberals are going to try to tell you to settle for less. The Conservatives are going to cut your services. The Liberals are going to say, because you're afraid of the Conservatives, settle for less and settle for, less investments, less promises, less delivery on services that are actually going to make your life better. And I want to say to the people of Saskatchewan, you deserve better. You deserve more. And I'm going to make sure. And I'm going to make sure you get it. I'm going to make sure we get universal medication coverage and dental care coverage. I'm going to make sure we get these things. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Singh. David Thurton here from CBC News. I just have a quick question for my colleague, Hannah Thibodeau.
Yeah.
She wants to know, when can Canadians get their prescriptions covered by your government? You have committed to implementing pharmacare by 2020, but when can Canadians go to a pharmacy and get their prescriptions covered, get it free? Can you give us an exact date?
Yeah, so our plan is to have it done within 1 year. So our plan is, as the PBO helped us cost out, that in the first year, it's going to be when people are going to start using their dental care program as well as a medication program. So we're planning to have it implemented within a year, and that means by 2020, families should be able to go out and get the medication they need.
Another question just about deficits. You spoke last night on CBC about an NDP government and how it would handle deficits. Will you be releasing exact numbers or the math of how much deficits, or whether or not an NDP government would govern within a surplus? Will there be exact numbers that you'll be releasing within this campaign?
So one of the challenges to answer that question is that, when you're in government, you know exactly what assets you have, what your revenue is exactly. There's a general sense that we have right now. We can look at PBO figures, we can look at general figures, but when you're in government, you have a better sense of exactly what's going on. So that's going to be hard to give you that precision. But what I can tell you is my values very clearly. I would not be running a deficit to give billionaires billions of dollars, which Mr. Trudeau has done. I wouldn't be doing that. I would be making better choices, fiscally prudent decisions to invest in people, because when you invest in people, you invest in programs that help people, the returns are massive. I believe in that. I believe in that. And finally, I'm not afraid to say this. I'm going to look at increasing revenue. And that's why we're going to put in place a wealth tax, or a tax on the super wealthy, those who've got fortunes of over 20 million. Yes, I'm going to ask them to pay a little bit more. That's going to raise $70 billion in revenue. I'm also going to ask the wealthiest corporations to pay a little bit more. And with our measures, we're going to increase revenue. So we're going to take our budget very seriously. Canadians expect us to live within our means, but we're going to do that by investing in people, not the wealthiest. We're going to invest in families, those who need our help. We're going to do that right away. Y'all are giving me life. I appreciate that.
Stephanie Taylor with the Canadian Press. Today, the Green Party of Canada has launched an official complaint with Canada's News Media Council and the Broadband Institute over what it calls misleading reporting from Press Progress. It says that Press Progress sent an intentionally misleading questionnaire to some Green Party candidates. Press Progress falsely claimed that several of the candidates who responded to the survey are anti-choice. It then says some NDP candidates that spread this false information on social media. The Green Party of Canada is asking Press Progress and the NDP to issue a correction and apologize. Will you issue a correction, and will you be apologizing?
So let me just be really clear. We live in a world where things are recorded. We've got radio and TV interviews. In an interview that everyone can watch, Ms. May made it really clear when she was asked the question, does she have the ability to control whether her candidates will bring up the question or challenge the question of a woman's right to choose? She said, I do not have the ability to do that. The Green Party does not have the ability to do that. And then she went on to say, quote, frankly, I think that's a good thing. Those are her words. She can't Photoshop those words. Those are real words that she said. And so I know the Green Party likes to Photoshop things, but they can't change what they said. And the reality is, the fact is, there are candidates running for the Greens that do not have a clear position on a woman's right to choose. With New Democrats, there is no question. All New Democrats firmly believe in the right to choose, And if anyone did not, they would not be a New Democrat anymore.
It wasn't so long ago that almost 70 veteran Saskatchewan New Democrats wrote to you expressing their displeasure over your handling of the Aaron Ware situation and not allowing him to run in Regina Louvain. It's largely believed that riding is going to be flipped over to the Conservatives. Do you believe that your handling of that situation and blocking Mr. Weir from running again has damaged your reputation in this province?
I made a decision. I stand by it. I'm ready for next question.
Devin Gregoire with CJWW News. So People's Party of Canada candidate for Saskatoon Grasswood, Mark Friesen, he posted a political cartoon on his Twitter account which depicted yourself wearing a turban with a bomb on it, and he thought it was a toque. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's pretty clearly not. So, I mean, it's pretty a weak explanation. And, you know, really, I think about, you know, I'm a elected official. I'm out in public. I know how to handle myself. But I think about a lot of people that can't. And when you have images that try to inflame hatred or strike fear in the hearts of people, what it does is it creates a less safe society for a lot of people. And that to me is a problem. And that's a problem with the PPC in general. They're trying to build on fear, build on division, try to have people pit against each other. And that to me is the exact opposite of what it should be about. Our job should be about bringing people together, showing that we have so much more in common, that we're in this struggle together, and it's really all of us fighting together against the powerful and wealthy who've been having too much influence over our country, who have made decisions that have hurt families. That's what it's about, not about trying to divide each other, and that's what the PPC is trying to do, and we're gonna fight back. Thank you.
Jagmeet, my name is Zagam, and I'm talking on behalf of South Asian media, ethnic media. Thing is that since we know the fact that over the past 15, 17 years, mainstream media has radicalized certain number of people, the communities, and what do you think that how would be your policy to de-radicalize those people? People have very, like facing every day those microaggressions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's a reality that a lot of people face challenges every day because of who they are. They face barriers, they face insults, sometimes physical violence because of their identity. And I'm talking about people because of the color of their skin, whether they're Indigenous, people because of their sexuality, because of their spiritual beliefs. Women face challenges, and we live in a society now that is happening. And I think what we need to commit to is that all of us want to build a world where no one is hurt because of who they are, where everyone is celebrated for who they are. And that's the type of world I want to build. I want to commit to that.
Hello, Mr. Singh. I'm from the campus newspaper at the University of Saskatchewan,
awesome.
The Sheaf.
Hey.
Thank you for taking my question. So recently you criticized Trudeau's concessions under the new United States-Canada-Mexico trade agreement, and that it'll cause increased prices on drugs. So I want to ask you, what actions will you take as Prime Minister to ensure the continued affordability of medications for Canadians under the new trilateral agreement?
So great question. The trade agreement will definitely raise the cost of medication. It also will make it harder for farmers, particularly dairy farmers, given the gaps in the supply management. It also puts in place language that's supposed to protect the environment and workers, but none of that is enforceable. So it's effectively meaningless. And so for those three reasons, I've said this is a bad deal. It's a worse deal than we had before. And what I would do to make medication more affordable is bring in place universal pharmacare. That's the way that we make it more affordable. It's going to be harder now because of this agreement. It's going to drive up the cost of medication, but that's why it's more important than ever that we bring in place a universal system that uses the buying power of 37 million Canadians, where we negotiate with that buying power, bringing down the prices of medication when we negotiate in bulk, and delivering medication for everyone covered in our healthcare system. For middle class and low income families, that's not going to cost them a cent. For the very, very wealthiest, it's going to cost them a little bit more, and we're going to deliver this program. It's going to save people lots of money.
Alex McPherson with the Saskatoon Star Phoenix. Just following up on Stephanie's question.
Sure.
Recent seat projections have every seat in Saskatchewan save one likely or safe for the Conservatives. What do you think it says about the state of the party on a national level and your messaging on this campaign that it doesn't appear to be resonating and it's possible the NDP could be shut out in Saskatchewan, which is the birthplace of the NDP?
Well, I look at what this election is about, and I know that Conservatives are going to tell people they're going to save them some money, and that's an easy message to say. They're going to save them some money. And it's a little bit harder to say this, but it's important to know that they're going to cut taxes a little bit and save you maybe a couple of dollars. But what they're going to do is what Conservatives always do. They're going to cut your services, and it's going to cost you a lot more. It's going to be very painful. We see that happen again and again. And I want people to know that they do not have to settle for less, that they can actually choose not between the red and the blue door. There is an orange door, a beautiful orange door that is available. That's going to make sure we deliver medication coverage for all. It's going to make sure we deliver dental care coverage. Our dental care plan is one that we can deliver within 1 year. It's going to mean families that cannot afford medication and that cannot afford dental care will get those two things right away. And I'm going to keep on telling people they deserve better.
Sur les sondages qui placent les conservateurs en avance un peu partout en Saskatchewan, en français, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, donc dans cette élection, je sais que les conservateurs vont dire qu'ils vont couper les impôts et vous donner un peu d'argent. Mais la réalité, c'est qu'ils vont vous donner un peu d'argent, mais ils vont couper tous les services et ça va coûter plus cher. Ça va coûter plus cher pour les familles, pour les travailleurs et travailleuses. C'est toujours le cas avec les conservateurs. Ils coupent les services dont vous avez besoin. Ce que je dis, vous avez besoin de plus, vous méritez plus et je peux le livrer. Ce que je veux faire, c'est de sauver l'argent pour les familles, pour les travailleurs et travailleuses en mettant en place une assurance médicaments universelle, en mettant en place des soins dentaires. Ça va sauver l'argent pour les familles parce que je ne travaille pas pour les plus riches, je travaille pour vous.
You said in your opening statement that people in Saskatchewan know what happens when Conservatives come in and cut services. But I guess following up on that, why is their message appear to be resonating here and yours is struggling to gain traction?
So, I mean, I'm just going to keep on telling people, lots of times you're told to expect less and deserve less, and you don't believe that you deserve to have better things. And the Conservatives are going to keep on saying that people don't deserve to have things like better health care and better access to dental care. That's going to be their message. I'm going to say something different. I believe people do deserve better. And I don't care how hard it is to say that message, and I don't care how long it takes. I believe people deserve better, and I'm going to deliver better for people. Okay. Je sais que les conservateurs vont continuer de dire que les gens méritent moins, mais je ne suis pas d'accord. Je pense que les gens méritent plus et je vais le livrer. Merci.
Jason Warwick, CBC Saskatoon. In 2015, the United Steelworkers in Regina say they actively supported the NDP, but this time around they can't because of the party's pipeline stance. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a difficult situation. I know that a lot of working people are worried about the future, and they're worried because there's been a lot of bust and booms, and those bust and booms have impacted a lot of provinces that rely on resources and those commodities being high. And through no fault of their own, no matter how hard they work, if global volatility results in lower prices for those commodities, it means that they lose their work. And that's really unfair. And those workers deserve a lot better. And that's why I'm committing to workers, to working people, that our plan and our party has always been one based on workers. And that means putting in place a stable and sustainable economy that will generate jobs that are long-term, long-lasting, and high quality. People deserve better than bust and boom economies, and I'm going to make the investments and make the decisions to change EI, to support workers for retraining, to support them when times are tough, but also to make sure we've got an economy that creates 300,000 new jobs that are long-lasting and sustainable in the economy that is more long-lasting and sustainable. Green energy, clean energy, renewables, retrofitting homes, investing in workers that have so many skills and abilities that keep on going through bust and booms. I'm going to invest in them and support them. Oui, merci. Une dernière chose, just one other thing before I'll say it also in French. The other thing is that we also have a commitment to change the way we do procurement. Right now in Canada, our procurement process allows for public dollars to go to companies that are not in Canada. And we've seen that hurt manufacturing sectors, the steel sector, Unifor brothers and sisters. And so one concrete example is we own Via Rail. It's our publicly owned train system. And the government put out a tender for trains. Instead of choosing Canadian-made trains or Canadian-made materials, they awarded the contract to Siemens, a German company. And so we lost $1 billion investment when we've got some of the best train-making companies, Bombardier, one of the best in the world here in Canada. So I'm putting forward a commitment, I put it forward in Thunder Bay with the Bombardier workers, that a Canadian procurement process should require made in Canada content when we're using our public dollars. That's going to support businesses. Donc, en français, je m'excuse parce que vous avez posé la question en français aussi. Donc, avec l'économie qui existe maintenant, on a des volatilités, des précarités qui existent et ce n'est pas la faute des travailleurs et travailleuses qui travaillent très fort, c'est la faute des marchés globaux qui changent tout le temps. Donc, ce que je veux faire, c'est de créer une économie qui est plus durable, qui crée des emplois de qualité, qui est plus durable aussi. Et aussi, ce qu'on va faire avec notre processus d'acheter avec l'argent public, on va s'assurer que le contenu doit être canadien. On a besoin d'un élément dans notre processus qui dit qu'on a un critère qui dit qu'on a besoin d'avoir les contenus canadiens pour l'argent public, qu'on en les dépense.
Samuel
Thank
Desbiens
you.
pour
Thanks for being so
Radio-Canada.
patient, everybody. You're awesome.
Samuel Desbiens pour Radio-Canada en Saskatchewan. Vous
Hey.
êtes ici au relais dans un lieu de rassemblement francophone, ici pour la communauté. Quel est votre plan pour justement les communautés francophones hors Québec qui sont en situation minoritaire?
Oui, bien sûr. Donc, comme vous savez, moi, je ne suis pas francophone, mais je suis francophile avec un grand cœur. Parce que quand j'étais jeune, en fait, j'ai tombé en amour avec la langue française. Et ça m'a donné une grande richesse dans ma vie. Et je veux partager cette richesse. Donc, avec un gouvernement néo-démocrate, on va tout de suite renouveler la loi sur les langues officielles. On veut améliorer l'accès aux services en français. Et pour moi, le rêve, c'est vraiment d'avoir un pays où tout le monde peut parler français, cette belle langue Molière, pour améliorer la richesse dans la vie, parce qu'avec la langue comme ça donne quelque chose de spécial.
Simplement avoir vos commentaires aussi en français par rapport au cartoon du candidat du Parti populaire ici dans la région de Saskatoon.
Donc, le Parti populaire en général, ce qu'il essaie de faire, c'est de créer des chicanes, de créer des divisions. Et c'est exactement l'opposé de le travail, de ce qu'il faut faire comme des leaders, comme des politiciens. Notre travail doit être de rassembler les gens. Et le parti ce qu'ils vont faire, c'est de toujours essayer de trouver des chicanes, trouver des divisions, augmenter et inflammer la tension et les propos haineux. Et moi, je suis toujours là pour me battre contre ça. Je veux bâtir un pays qui est plus rassembleuse, où on peut travailler ensemble. Pour moi, ça, c'est le rêve. Et je vais être toujours un allié pour la défense, l'unité, le rassemblement contre la haine et les propos divisifs. Merci. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. That was it.